There comes Roosevelt Sousa to the mat, the white gi here.
All right, we are here with the tail of the tape with one of the most discussed matches of the card. We have Johnatha Alves, 23 years old, 5'8", 175.8 pounds, and Roosevelt Sousa, 29, 6'4", and 261.2, almost a 100-pound difference here, and we are going to get this rolling.
That's crazy. And Johnatha Alves is not someone that normally competes in the absolute, at least not a black belt, right? Maybe earlier in his career, but he's been focused on his weight class, so this is a departure from the norm in many ways.
Yeah. And even with an absolute match, we don't usually get to see almost a 100-pound weight difference here. What is it, 90-something? And we're seeing some of that pressure being dropped on now by Roosevelt Sousa. We just recently saw both of these guys in action at our last Grand Prix. Saw Roosevelt Sousa win the match against Felipe Andrew. Is that right? No, I'm sorry. I have to pull that up. I think I might have mistaken on the name.
I think Felipe Andrew took the win on that one.
No, yeah, but it was his last match on the Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a match then. But anyway, we're into the action now here. Johnatha Alves with the interesting inversion underneath, but not quite enough to get under the hips there with Sousa.
Sousa showing a little rebolo action, looking pretty good in the inverted exchanges there for the big man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, looking very comfortable, did Roosevelt Sousa there in that inverted game. I wonder if Johnatha Alves expected that.
I wouldn't if I were Johnatha Alves, right? I really wouldn't. But at the same time, really unfazed. I mean, he just went back to his open guard. He looks very, very comfortable. He deals with this all the time in the gym, right? So almost climbing the body now of Roosevelt Sousa.
I wonder if we'll see another deadlift like Kynan and Elder earlier. This one's slightly less surprising, though, if that one took place.
Like to see Sousa looking for that underhook there off the knee cut pass, but Johnatha smartly moving his hips back into better control position and almost being able to score himself a sweep there with his as a reward for his perfect timing.
Yeah, nice look at kind of a long step there from Roosevelt Sousa, and Johnatha Alves really flowing through the position well. So far absorbing the big man's pressure. But for how long, Kendall, is the question.
Yeah, I would say in a 10-minute match that does start to wear out on you as the minutes go by, right? So even though there isn't a whole lot of big explosive action here just yet, that can be easier to accomplish on a smaller opponent after, you know, you're further than halfway into the match, when some of that weight is starting to really melt them down. But that being said, Johnatha Alves is not someone easy to melt down. We see him consistently applying the same level of pressure all 10 minutes of the match all the time. So he's definitely well prepared for this. Now we see Alves coming into a closed guard position, so a little bit of a different strategy. See if he opts to open right back again, or if he's going to start working from this closed guard. See Roosevelt straight back up, almost deadlifting Alves off the floor there and popping off that really nice collar grip. Interesting to see Sousa popping off that collar grip and then trying to punch the sleeve of Alves kind of down and behind that left leg for a moment to kind of clear that pathway through, maybe on the knee cut side to Alves' right shoulder.
I wonder if we'll see Alves try and break that grip of his own and come up on top of one of those scenarios there where Roosevelt goes for another long step. Because the question is now, how does Johnatha really begin to score given Roosevelt's game that we're seeing so far?
And this is a better look at a pass here from Sousa. He has that right hand underhook really nice and deep, which is going to help him keep Alves' left shoulder on the floor. But Alves still has that pan grip with his left hand, so not all hope is lost. He still has, and as I say that, just a beautiful break there from Sousa, able to pin the left shoulder of Alves down to the ground, which is a big step when trying to pass a talented guard.
Alves are looking to maybe, never mind. Roosevelt says, no, I'm going to pass.
That was a big bridge, though. He did look like he had hope for just a moment. It wasn't a guaranteed pass, but Sousa with the persistence and the resilience to finally stick his back to the mat and score that 3 points. Now using that right hand is a very interesting grip to trap the far arm of Alves and help himself step over into the mount. Not quite a mounted position that he'll score in, but puts him back into the half guard with an advantage for his efforts.
And this can be a really demoralizing situation for the player on bottom as they get a half guard back, but really not much of a defensive position, and only to get passed again. This is where you can maybe see Roosevelt put on a lot of points in short order. Look at that crossface, really making things miserable there for Johnatha on bottom.
Yeah, has this really strong crossface, and then we notice that he either goes with his right hand for the underhook or for that deep pant grip. So if he's not able to get the underhook, he at least closes his elbow and his shoulder down so that Alves can't open up his left arm and kind of jack that shoulder up and create space to recover. He is trying, though. I mean, it's getting a little bit deeper as he's inching that left arm through and through. Big cross-face pressure, really just turning the face of Alves the opposite direction that it needs to go in order to recover the guard. This is where that 90 or 100-pound weight difference is really going to start to show itself.
Yeah, Jonathan's feeling it now. A penalty awarded to Sousa on top. They'd like to see a little more action. He's certainly putting on the punishment, but not necessarily advancing too quickly here.
Yeah, it can be difficult in this position, right? You rush the pass, and Alves is such a great guard, has such great guard recovery that he's going to be able to use that timing to either bring, left foot in for a half butterfly, or his knee shield fully in, or his right leg up into a nice recovery position. But it looks like Sousa is okay with maybe the threat of a potential penalty coming into play, because he knows he does not want Alves to recover the guard, so he's going to keep working for his pass in this half guard. That switchover grip from Sousa, he switched his left crossface hand to the other side of the body, and that really gave Alves the space he needed to get this guard recovery, and now straight into action.
Yeah, great work from Johnatha Alves to make the most of that scenario and get back to a guard. But he's got a lot of work to do. The sweep will not be enough. I'm sure Jonatha's trying to figure out how to get to the back, teleport there somehow. But Sousa looking phenomenal so far in this match.
And you gotta say, look how hard Alves is breathing. I mean, when you've been underneath the half guard and the side control of somebody as big and powerful as Sousa, even when you're not moving much, you are using a lot of energy just to keep them at bay.
Now Sousa has very, very dangerous footlock and leg lock attacks.
That's funny. It's something we talked a lot about when he fought Felipe Andrew. That we were wondering if we were going to see a footlock shootout, and we could see a similar situation here. But out of danger for the moment as far as the submission goes, and now into a kind of like a false leg drag position. But this position for Sousa is nice because he can kind of switch back and forth between the knee cut and a smash pass. But Alves very smartly having his right arm wrapped around the leg. I think he has a lapel pass through, and now his right leg can assist him in the elevation if he's able to elevate those hips of Sousa.
And this is looking grim for Johnatha Alves here as Sousa kind of settles in on top. He's not going to rush anything, as you pointed out, Kendall. Minute and a half left.
Man, we see the continued efforts from Johnatha really trying to off-balance his opponent. And that's what you have to do when you're playing guard, when you're looking for sweeps and back takes. You have to continue to off-balance, but to do so against someone who's not in a rush, who is so dominant on top, is very difficult because you have to create all the movement. Your opponent is not creating any movement because they just don't have to, right?
Tá bem? 37 segundos.
30 seconds left here now on the clock. It would be a very, very big feat for Alves to be able to figure out how to overcome that deficit. And as I say that, in on an omoplata, but almost upside down now. Hanging onto the body with omoplata, but even if he's able to score with it, he will not be able to cover the 3 points. So he would have to opt for a finish here.
Yeah, it's a tough ask for Johnatha Alves, but you got to love the effort there. But it's going to be Roosevelt Sousa here that takes the win.
And your winner of the Black Belt Ultra Heavyweight Super Fight, Roosevelt Sousa, representing Fight Sports.